largest quarterly jump ever was from the end of MOP to the launch of WoD, and that saw 2.6 million players return. So clearly, Classic's doing more than that. I don't think that it would be...
So it had over 2.6 million people. Holy shit, man. What the fuck? That is insane. That is fucking ridiculous, man. About the biggest drop? I don't think so.
Be absurd to say that it's 3 to 4 million
impressive.
more people, more subs. Now, not all of them will stay, of course, but still, we do know that WoW Classic Month 2, like the overall engagement there, is significantly higher than World of Warcraft's like overall engagement before Classic launched. So clearly, Classic has been an extremely additive thing to the World of Warcraft community. And speaking of that, well, Classic Phase 2 unlocks the week beginning the 12th of November. Outside the early release of Dire Maul, this will be the first content update for Classic. So what can we expect from Phase 2? Well, the PvP honor system launches. There was no barrier to PvP previously, but a substantive reward system, well, that's going to drive a lot more PvP on most servers. We're definitely going to see over the coming weeks.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a real shit show,
especially in Hillsbrad and the Barrens. And
I don't know how they're... Now, shit. Well, I don't know how they're going to be able to do this with, like, their servers. Their servers are so bad right now. I don't know how it's going to be possible for Blizzard to see Phase 2 happen on any of the larger servers at all. I don't think so in any way.
At BlizzCon, Ian recommended the players finish up whatever quests they've got.
It was like, no fucking way, man.
Well, with our server of Shazrath, I'm expecting hundreds of players to be battling between Taran Mill and South Shore in the coming days. This also will, of course, come with PvP rewards, but remember, you're not going to see Battlegrounds launch until Phase 3. Of course, that's not all. PvE players will get the world bosses Lord Kazak and Azuragos. Now, Blizzard actually previously stated that they would not launch any world bosses until layering would no longer be needed. Now, Blizzard will be able to synchronize the end of layering with the release of Phase 2, and I think that would all be pretty darn exciting. Okay, with that covered, let's hop over to contemporary World of Warcraft. So, World of Warcraft is 15 years old, and to celebrate, Blizz have brought a selection of thematic events and activities for players to participate in. So, when you log in, you're going to get the little Nefarian pet, and then you're also going to get a letter from Chromie that invites you to the special time-walking event in the Caverns of Time. Now,
what a disappointment this was. Like, what a disappointment this shit was. Like, I was so excited to do this event, and then it just turned out to be bullshit, man. It just turned out to be such fucking bullshit. Like, it was it's like the only thing that was hard about it was Defile. So it's like, oh yeah, we're going to make you go through 2 other fights to randomly throw a mechanic at you that one-shots the entire raid from 10 years ago, and if you don't know how to deal with it exactly, everybody in the raid dies. It's like, that's so fucking dumb, man. Like, I'm sorry, it's so fucking dumb, especially in, like, an LFR environment. Like, I hate it whenever Blizzard does this. They add, like, one mechanic in there that, like, in a random grouping system, I don't think that there should be a fucking mechanic in there that one person can wipe the raid with. It just seems like it's too open for trolling, and one person just ruining it for everybody else. The fucking 15-year anniversary thing, I was not a big fan of at all. And, yeah, it was okay, but it could have just been so much better, man. It could have been so much fucking better.
Within the caverns, you find these chrono crystals, which just show you significant cinematics. So, yeah, I guess they threw that in for some reason. So you can watch the Wrathgate, but not on YouTube if you want to. Gameplay-wise, there's quite a bit, though. So we've got the variation of the old Altaric Valley. It's an homage to the original rather than being an accurate representation of it. So there are no reinforcements. There are no time limits. Plus, Korak the Blood Ranger is back. And, well, we've pretty much...
Is this a good thing? I never really did it seriously. And so I'm actually curious. No, it's good. Some people are saying it's good. It's horrible. I feel like it's probably going to be, like, really laggy or just, like, scuffed in some way or another. It's retail, so it's trash. Well, yeah, I know. Retail bad, classic good. Yeah, retail bad, classic good. Everybody knows that. But, you know, I'm excited to at least maybe do, like, 1 or 2 of them.
much have seen a return to very long battleground matches. Now, true to form, Korak has already received a 60% buff to his health in a recent hotfix, now spawning 2 minutes after the match has begun.
Damn.
With developers actually explaining this as something that basically offsets the alliance bias that's inherent in AV.
What do you,
now,
what?
There's also faction-specific mount rewards and return weapons, such as the Ice Barbed Spear, which are, you know, clear callbacks to the original AV rewards. So you can get all that stuff.
What's he talking about?
Overall, you just want to head there and complete the quests
I don't
from
understand.
your base, and that will get you most of it. Of course, that's not all, because we do have Memories of Azeroth, which is our new 3-wing time-walking raid. Now, each wing, one for the Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, and
Imagine fighting Nefarian and having the entire fucking fight be killing his ads in Phase 2. Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Like, I genuinely don't even understand. Like, how the fuck could anybody just be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do Nefarian. Here's how it's supposed to work. You sit there and you kill the ads and then the fight's over. Oh, it's so dumb.
Cataclysm will include bosses idiomatic of not just those expansions, but also the design ethic of the time.
Yeah.
This can be incredibly cinematic, with Chromie fitting you in the wider context of each encounter, and it certainly does show how far Blizzard has come. And I feel sometimes a little bit intentionally with the way that they weave sort of modern systems.
Arcana, thanks for 5 gifted subs. I appreciate that, man.
Maybe new
Thank
transitions or the sound files with old visuals and mechanics. I think it's the most notable in encounters like Archimonde, with his voice lines not aging super well and his mechanics feeling a little bit static.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Raiders who fought these bosses while they were relevant, well, they might enjoy this event less, because it's only certain phases of each encounter, and the transitions cut away from the fight with little notice. There are a few other questionable aspects here, such as it only being available through LFR. The generally chaotic nature of LFR means that bad positioning on, say, Lich King's Defile will just cascade into a wipe, and that will reset the entire raid back to the first boss,
point that he brings up right here.
Which I don't think is massively fun. Now, of course, though, the Memories of Azeroth raid has eye level 420 loot rewards, so and of course they can Titan Forge to be like heroic raid level gear, and that includes weapons. So people will do it. Now, with this event going on for 3 months, I think players are going to be getting a lot of that easy 420 loot, and I mean, it does jump you up a few steps in terms of item level progression, and it seems like it's an incentive to keep players on contemporary servers. Now, speaking of incentives, well, completing the old raids will give you the Obsidian Worldbreaker mount. I think a very fitting celebration for the 15th anniversary, but still, the ease of acquisition, I do think it kind of makes it feel like more of a participation trophy. That said, the anniversary event does have more reasons to stay logged in, with a potential 75 boost to rep acquisitions on the first weekend. So basically, it's World Quest week, so that's 50%. Then there's the anniversary buff, that's a 15% boost to both rep and experience gain, and that's active until January. Then add to that the carousel bonus from the Dark Moon Fair, and yeah, you could be getting a 75% rep bonus plus a 25% XP bonus. Great for leveling your alts, great for getting Pathfinder if you haven't really done that yet.
What the hell, dude? So I need to go do some World Quests, guys.
In December and in January,
this is
so
awesome.
Opportunities to really maximize
I'm so excited
of those boosts. Then a few things to round out the anniversary event. Players can get the Spellstone Delight. Now, this is pretty crazy. It's a purchasable item that gives you 100% move speed outside of instances for 30 seconds. And to be honest, it seems absurdly good. I'll be stocking up on like half a bank full of them, but it would be nice to get clarification from Blizz as to whether they will persist outside of the event. Then, the overtuned core.
Hopefully they won't.
They're back.
That way people will not have to stack them up.
Appeal to certain sections of the player base. Then next up, patch 8.3. This
has
been confirmed
4,000 of those.
2020.
Oh, is that it?
And this will be over the consistent 3-month patch cycle they normally want, with Rise of Ashara then launching on the 25th of June, and 8.2.5 feeling very light content-wise. What, we're 7 months between significant content patches? Now, with the anniversary event ending in January, that would all hint at a post-Christmas launch. And it certainly seems like the 15th event is lasting for so long because it's the main thing that'll be holding the fort till the late release of 8.3. So, discounting a potential patch 8.3.5, we may be looking at least a further 7 months after 8.3 till Shadowlands' launch. And that's if it launches in August, which it really doesn't seem like it will. I mean, personally, I'm expecting September.
This is going to be like November, man.
Even November.
Yeah.
So with 8.3 being
that's what I think it's going to be.
I think it's going to be a pretty long wait for modern-only players, but if you're into Classic, then I think there'll probably be a lot to do as Blizzard roll out those phases. But overall, though, yeah, it seems like the mistakes of BFA knocked them back, and they just have to wait until the 8.3 reception comes in till they can make a lot of major decisions for Shadowlands. Anyway, with that covered, let's actually talk about 8.3. So the Dungeon Journal has been updated, and it now hosts details of the N'Zoth encounter. The most iconic set of fights begins with Il'gynoth, who has, well, I mean, he's encouraged so much lore speculation.
Il'gynoth Corruption
anyway,
Reborn.
So it's that
yeah.
through to the Carapace of N'Zoth, which is just a big
Carapace. I know what that is.
And it actually does have the potential to be a satisfying representation of an old god, like a literal mountain of void and flesh.
Oh, we'll see how it goes.
The old god